Around 9 p.m., 7-year-old Erica Pratt was walking down the street with her sister Nalia when a white car pulled up alongside them and called for Erica. Within seconds, the passenger door opened and a man pulled the girl into the car while her sister watched. Horrified, Nalia sprinted away and spotted neighbors unaware of the abduction that just happened and screamed, "They took her from me! They took her from me!" The neighbors then flocked to a hysterical Nalia to calm her down so they could learn exactly what happened. Erica, on the other hand, was then taken to an abandoned row house in North Philadelphia, about 12 miles from her house. Once there, the captors covered her eyes and bound her hands and feet with duct tape and left her alone, locked in a darkened basement. For hours, Erica gnawed through the duct tape that bound her and eventually freed herself. Then, mostly feeling her way through a darkened basement, she hopped up the basement stairs, only to find the door locked. Bravely, she kicked out a wooden panel on the basement door, wriggled through the narrow opening, then punched out a window and screamed for help. Fortunately, 2 boys who had been playing outside heard her cries, broke through a window to pull her out, and then led her to police officers. She was then transported to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia to seek treatment for a cut on her cornea.
We were standing over there across the street, and I heard her screaming for help. And then we went over there to go see what happened. And then she was inside the mailbox, and we asked her name and age, and she said her name was Erica. Then she said she was 7. So then I said, "Is there a chair in there or something?" She said, "No." Then she showed me a rubber hammer, though. And she busted the first window. I busted the other one and ripped the screen out and helped her get out the house.
So how'd you help her get out? Did you pull her out, or would you
picked her up
and pulled her out?
Yep.
Chief Inspector of the Philadelphia Police, Robert Davis, said, "It amazes me that a girl who is only 7 years old had the composure to take the time to gnaw her way out of duct tape and get out." The police believe the abduction was not random and that someone had hoped to extort money from the Pratt family. Within 20 minutes of being kidnapped, her captors phoned her grandmother, Barbara Pratt, 6 times, demanding $150,000 in ransom. Rumors swirled through the neighborhood that the kidnappers were after life insurance money paid to Pratt after her son Joseph Pratt was shot to death in March. Money that never existed, the family told the Associated Press. Investigators said it was not clear why someone would believe that a family in this working-class slice of Philadelphia would be able to afford a 6-figure ransom. Right before Erica's escape, the police already announced that they were on the hunt for 2 suspects, 29-year-old James Burns and 23-year-old Edward Johnson, and they were arrested 3 days later. Records indicate that the kidnappers had a long criminal record and also knew of the Pratt family. In fact, court records revealed that James Burns had at least one violent run-in with the family. In December 2001, Burns was charged with trying to shoot Erica's uncle, Derek Pratt, by spraying his West Philadelphia home with bullets. Burns was released on bail and failed to show up for a court appearance. He was still wanted in that case at the time of the kidnapping. Erica picked Edward Johnson's picture out of a photo array and identified him as one of the men who dragged her away while she was kicking and screaming. Johnson pleaded guilty in May 2003, while Burns was convicted a month later. Johnson was sentenced to 10 to 37 years, and Burns was sentenced to 14 to 49 years in prison. In his 2004 comedy special, Dave Chappelle popularly spoke of Erica Pratt's kidnapping.
A lot of confusion around that age. Anytime 15 comes up, people freak out. Like when that girl Elizabeth Smart got kidnapped, right? Remember in Utah last year, 15-year-old girl Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped, and then they finally found her and the whole country was relieved. And I was the only one saying, damn, she wasn't that smart after all. Now, because she got kidnapped, that could happen to anybody. I'm not knocking her for that. I'm just saying, if you kidnapped me when I was 15, you got to take me further than 8 miles away from my house, man. God damn. You can't hold me prisoner around shit I recognize. I'll break away. I'll break away. Fuck off me, nigga. That's my bus stop. I know where I'm at. I'm going home. She was missing for 6 months, 8 miles away from my house. That's 2 exits, man. That's nothing. And while she was missing, during this half a year that this girl is missing, there's a 7-year-old black girl gets kidnapped in Philadelphia. Nobody knows her name. They might have talked about it 2 or 3 times on the news, but she should have been the top story because she chewed through the ropes and had both of these motherfuckers in jail in 45 minutes flat. 7 years old. I'm not making this up.
Although Chappelle is a comedian and his depiction of Elizabeth Smart is not entirely correct, he does highlight something significant: the stark difference in media coverage between white and non-white missing victims, dubbed as the missing white woman syndrome. A term coined by the late PBS anchor Gwen Ifill, it refers to the mainstream media's seeming fascination with covering missing or endangered white women and its seeming disinterest in cases involving missing people of color. There have been multiple research studies conducted from 2003 to the present day on the topic that are available online and also validate missing white women syndrome. As previously mentioned in our Daniel Robinson video, the case of Gabby Petito in 2021 serves as a prime example of missing white women syndrome and extensive media coverage that was somehow not afforded to other families with missing children during the same time. These cases are also the ones that are extensively covered on platforms like these. Although coverage is necessary and well-deserved for all families of missing persons, a huge racial inequity exists among these families, which fuels underrepresentation and is detrimental to non-white families in their searches for their loved ones. Before today, you have probably never heard of Erica Pratt's story of escape, but you likely have heard of Elizabeth Smart's, Jamie Kloss's, and many others whose experiences, although are completely different, have been thoroughly followed by the media. After her escape, Time magazine named Erica Pratt its Person of the Week. The following year after her kidnap, the former U.S. Attorney General John Ashcroft presented her with the National Courage Award from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. In 2013, Erica, who was 26 years old, did an exclusive interview on her story. However, little could be found on Erica's whereabouts today. But what remains is her story of sheer courage and force of will that later broadcasted her as a hero. Against incredible odds, she not only saved herself, but witnessed sending her kidnappers to jail. Thank you all for watching.